Your life as the Sultan's brother. You are born inside Topkapı Palace in the year 1600. Your father rules an empire that stretches across 3 continents, from Budapest to Baghdad, from the Crimea to the edge of the Sahara. Roughly 30 million people wake up every morning inside his borders. You are his son, which means you are born into the most dangerous position in the entire empire. Your mother is not a queen. She is not a wife. She is a slave. That is not an insult. It is the system. For generations, Ottoman sultans have stopped marrying noble women entirely because a wife brings a powerful family, and a powerful family brings claims. A concubine brings nothing, no relatives, no dynasty behind her, no leverage except one: you. From the moment you are born, your mother has exactly one purpose in life, and everybody in the harem knows what it is. Keep this boy alive long enough to take the throne, because if he takes it, she becomes the most powerful woman in the empire. And if he does not, she is not an insult, it is the system. For generations, Ottoman sultans have stopped marrying noble women entirely, because a wife brings a powerful family, and a powerful family brings claims. A concubine brings nothing, no relatives, no dynasty behind her, no leverage except one: you. From the moment you are born, your mother has exactly one purpose in life, and everybody in the harem knows what it is. Keep this boy alive long enough to take the throne, because if he takes it, she becomes the most powerful woman in the empire, and if he does not, she is nothing at all. Your childhood is the finest education available anywhere on earth at this moment in history. You learn the Quran by heart. You learn Ottoman Turkish, Arabic, and Persian, 3 languages for 1 court. You learn calligraphy, because a prince's handwriting is a measure of his soul. You learn to ride, to shoot a composite bow, to command. And you learn a trade with your hands, because every Ottoman prince must know one. Your ancestors were goldsmiths, gardeners, ring makers. You are given tools and taught to work wood. Nobody explains why a boy who might rule 30 million people needs to know joinery. You find out later. You also learn a language that has no sound. The palace employs men who cannot hear and cannot speak, the dilsis, the mutes. They serve in the most private chambers, because a servant who cannot repeat what he hears is the only safe kind of servant. Over generations, the court has developed an entire sign language to speak with them. The Sultan himself uses it. You are fluent in it by the age of 9. You do not yet know what else those men are used for. When you are 8, you are circumcised in a public festival that lasts 15 days. Fireworks over the Golden Horn, sugar sculptures the size of buildings, ambassadors from Venice and Vienna sending gifts. Your father watches from a raised platform. Thousands of people celebrate you by name. It is the last time in your life you will be shown to the public. At home, in the harem, you learn the other thing. Not from a teacher, from your mother, quietly, when nobody else is in the room. She tells you about a law. About 120 years ago, your ancestor Mehmed the Conqueror, the man who took Constantinople at the age of 21, wrote down a code of law for the empire he had just doubled. Buried inside it is a single sentence: whichever of my sons inherits the throne, it is proper for him to kill his brothers, for the good order of the world. Not a rumor, not a custom. Written law in the founder's own code, approved by scholars, because the alternative had been tried, and the alternative was worse. Every time an Ottoman sultan died, with several sons, the empire tore itself apart in civil war, sometimes for a decade, while the brothers fought each other with private armies. So the founders made a decision that is genuinely, coldly logical: one family, one heir. Everyone else dies once, quickly, instead of thousands dying slowly. Your mother does not tell you this to frighten you. She tells you because you need to start counting. You have 4 brothers, you are the 3rd. There is a method, and you know it before you are 10. Royal blood may not be spilled on the ground, so it is not spilled. The mutes come with a length of silk bowstring. They do it quickly, without a word, because they have no words, and afterward the body is washed and buried with full honors beside your father in a marble tomb, in a coffin the same size as everyone else's. There is no shame in it. That is the part outsiders cannot understand. It is not murder in the way they mean it. It is an office of state. In 1595, 5 years before you are born, your uncle became Sultan. On his first night on the throne, 19 of his brothers were brought to him. 19. Some were grown men, the youngest were children. They were killed in a single night and buried together the next day. The city watched the funeral procession and, according to the chronicles, wept openly in the streets. Then it went back to work, because the alternative was civil war. At 16, you are sent away from the capital. This is the good part. Ottoman princes are given real provinces to govern, Manisa, Amasya, Kütahya, with a real treasury, a real court, and real decisions to make. It is an apprenticeship for the throne, and it is also a test. You hold court, you hear disputes. You send letters to the capital that are read carefully by people deciding your future. You are, for a few years, genuinely happy. You are also, for the first time, dangerous. A prince with a province is a prince with an army. Everyone at court knows that. Then a rider arrives from Istanbul, faster than the ordinary post. Your father is dying. And here is what that sentence actually means to you. Somewhere in the palace, right now, a decision is being made about which of his sons rides through the gate first. Because the law is simple. Whoever reaches the throne first is Sultan. And whoever is Sultan gives the order about everyone else. Your eldest brother is closer to the capital than you are. He is 3 days closer. You do not sleep for those 3 days. You spend them writing letters, calculating loyalties, listening for horses on the road, and being polite to servants you are no longer sure of. On the 4th day, the horses come, not to kill you, to escort you. Your brother is Sultan, and your brother has decided not to follow the law. You are told this in a courtyard by an official who does not meet your eyes, and you understand, standing there, that you have just survived something, and that you have not been forgiven for it. Because the law is not repealed, it is replaced. Instead of the bowstring, there is the kafes, the cage. It is not a dungeon. That is what makes it work. It is a suite of rooms in the harem of Topkapı Palace, with fine carpets, painted walls, and a view over one of the most beautiful stretches of water on earth. The windows are barred. The door is guarded. You are 23 years old the day it closes behind you. You are permitted servants. They are deaf and mute, and they are chosen for exactly that reason. You are permitted women. They are chosen because they cannot bear children. And if one somehow does, the child does not leave the room alive, because a child is a claim, and a claim is a war. You are permitted your tools. That is why you were taught woodwork, not to give a ruler a hobby, to give a prisoner something to do with his hands for the next 30 years. You receive no news, no letters, no visitors, no idea whether the empire is winning or losing, at peace or at war, whether your mother is alive, whether your brother still rules. You learn to tell the seasons by the light on the wall and the birds over the Bosphorus. You count days for the first few years. Then you stop, because counting is unbearable, and because after a certain point, the number stops meaning anything. Men who lived through this left almost nothing behind, but the palace records are clear about what it did to them. One prince spent 39 years inside these rooms before the door opened. Another spent 22, and came out unable to distinguish flattery from fact, and was deposed and executed within 8 years. Another emerged and reportedly kept trying to hide, convinced the crowd applauding him had come for a different reason. The empire designed a system to stop princes killing each other. It succeeded completely. It just also produced, every generation or so, a ruler with no experience of the world, no training in government, and no capacity left to learn. You are 59 years old when you hear the bolt move. Not at the usual hour, not the food. A delegation of men in ceremonial robes is standing in a doorway you have not seen open in 36 years, bowing to the floor. Your brother is dead. His sons are dead. You are the eldest surviving male of the House of Osman. And the law of seniority, the law they wrote to replace the killing, has just made you Sultan of the Ottoman Empire. They put a sword on your hip and walk you out into daylight you have not stood in since you were 23. The crowd cheers a man they have never seen. You cannot read a treasury report. You have never met an ambassador, commanded a soldier, or heard a single piece of news since the reign of a sultan 2 generations back. Every man in the room bowing to you knows this. Some of them are counting on it. You rule for 4 years. They are not good years, and history will record them as your fault, and history will not spend much time on where you spent the previous 36. Your ancestors solved the problem of brothers killing each other. Nobody ever solved the problem of what to do with a brother once you had decided to let him live. You were born a prince of the most powerful empire on earth. And this is your whole life. Dee's story is a composite. Every element, Mehmed II's law of fratricide, the silk bowstring, the deaf-mute executioners of the palace, the princely governorships, the kafes, the sterilized concubines, and the sultans who emerged from decades of confinement unfit to rule, is drawn from the documented history of the Ottoman dynasty. The prince is not a single real individual.